Hello everyone, welcome to today's video on AutoCAD exercises. If you are just starting out with AutoCAD or want to improve your drafting skills, this video is for you. We will cover some simple yet powerful practices that will help you understand the basic commands of the AutoCAD. By the end of this video, you will be more confident in using AutoCAD tools and ready to create your own design. Welcome to my channel CADman Tutorials. Today we are going to create this drawing in AutoCAD. So let's get started. First, I'm going to create the center line on which the diameter 9 and 12 is drawn. Okay. So first I take a line with the line command L, enter, and create a perpendicular line, and taking this intersection as the center of the circle for dia 9 and dia 12, I create those two circles. So first I create dia 12, and then from the same intersection point I try to create circle with command C, enter. Now I give diameter as 9. So now after creating this line, from this line, taking this as a reference, the 10 dimension for the center of this radius R2 is given. So we try to offset 10 from here to there, and from the center of this line to the center of the circle R2 is given as 6. So we try to offset 6 from this point to this point and try to extend this line so that will be the center of this R2. So I try to lengthen dynamically. I'll just increase this line and remove the extra lines by giving command BR, that is break. So I'm breaking these extra lines so that this is my center of this circle R2. Now I'll create a circle R2 by giving command C, enter, and give radius as 2. C radius 2. So in order to make the center line look good, so what I try to do, I make a small circle inside this and try to trim out equally so that my center line looks good. I'll remove this. Okay. And now to create this profile, so we need a tangent line from this circle to the tangent line from that circle. So I try to create a line, enter. So when I move around a circle, I'm only getting the intersection point and the center point and the quadrants. So in order to get the tangent, after giving line command, say TAN, that means it takes the tangent of the required circle, and again say TAN. So that means I'm creating a line tangent to the both circles. So I say tangent and click it here. So now I got a perfect tangent between these two circles. And from this line, so this line is an offset of 2 from here. The dimension is given as 2. So I say offset, say 2, and place it over here and try to trim out the extra elements. Trim. I say trim out, and I trim out this part and this part too, and here and here. So now I got a required profile, but we are left out with these two radius. So we'll try to give that radius, fillet radius 2 on this side and fillet radius 1 on the bottom side. So here now we have got this entire profile. We are left out with these 3 circles. So in order to create 3 circles, first we need to create an angular lines of 30 and 30, or 30 and 60 from this center line. So what I try to do is, like, I copy, say, CO, enter, and from this center of the circle, see, when I go and hover over the circle, it will automatically take the circle. From circle, go away and come back and paste it back on the same position. That means now we are having two lines over there. So one is the copied line and one is the normal line which we have created first. So now I try to rotate this from the center of this. I say CR center, and from the center I say rotate it to 30. And similarly, I just break off this line, and similarly I'll do same copy from this center, go away and come back and paste it to the center of the circle. Now again I have got two lines over there, so I try to rotate one line with an angle of 30. So now we have got these angular lines, and now we need to get the center of these three circles, that is radius 5.25. So in order to get that radius, again I go take a circle from this point, I say radius 5.25. that will be the center of my circles. So now I'll click and change it to center line so that I don't get confused with those lines. Now I start creating circles, these three circles of radius 0.5. Say circle radius 0.5 and say enter with the space bar. Click it, again enter, because it will automatically takes the previous radius. Enter, enter. So now we are finished with this profile. Then coming to the bottom profile, first we start creating this 3.5 dimension. In order to get this 3.5, so 1.75 on the other side, we offset this line, offset to 1.75 here and here. So I try to remove the extra lines, and so I'll just delete it. I try to trim out these two extra lines, and now we have to give this radius R3 here and here. So we'll go for fillet radius and give 3 on the other side. So now you got the required profile. So to create this bottom profile, there are two dimensions given from the center of this circle, dia 9 and dia 12. So we try to offset 18.5 and then offset to 4, which are the centers of circles, these two circles. And now we have not given the dimension for these circles from the center of this line, or for the slot, now for this angle or anything. So first, how I try to do this is, as this center of this circle lies on the center of this, first I try to create this circle, this angle, because it is given as 74 to the slot center to the center of this line. So now we have created this line, and I try to offset 1 to get this center of line from here. So offset 1, enter, and the center line and this line, the intersection of this two is the slot, this radius 0.75. So I say circle radius 0.75, and now I try to rotate this center line to 74, or I rotate this line to 16 to make it 74 with this vertical line. So I try to rotate this line from this center to 16 to make, see, if you measure these two angles, will be 74. So Now the next dimension given is from the center of this circle to the center of other circle is given as 6. So in order to draw that line, I go for line command, say perpendicular. I'll go make a perpendicular line with the angled line. They move and go and move that to the center of the line. From here, I try to offset to a distance of 6. Okay. Now this is the center to center distance 6 given here. So I try to create one more circle of radius 0.75. Now I try to move these two midpoints of these two lines, say MID, and place it on the center of the circles. Now I try to join the end of this circle to the end of this circle and end of this circle to end of this circle. Now I try to delete the extra circles. Now I got the required profile. See, now the dimension from the center of this line to this line is given as 1.5. So I try to offset 1.5 from the center and place it over here, and again offset to, see, from this line to this line the dimension is given as 5. So I try to offset through 5. Okay, so let it be here for a while. And now the same from here to the end of this line, the dimension is given as 8. So I try to offset to 8 from this point to this point, and this will be my required profile. So I try to extend that till here and try to remove the other parts, and I'll make it a little small so that it'll be clear that that is the center line. So in order to join these two lines, I'll teach you a shortcut command called fillet radius 0. Say 0, so it will automatically joins these two lines. Okay, and I try to remove the extra lines. I try to remove this line, and from now here again, if you see, the distance 4 is given from this point to the center of these two circles. So this is my center line which is passing through the center of this circle. I try to offset to 4. Okay, now I need to create the circles of radius 1.5 on the other side and circle of dia 2 on both sides. Okay, now I try to join these ends, and then I try to join here to here. Now I try to remove the other elements. So I'll just break down the extra lines over here, from here to here, here to here, and here also I'll try to remove these center lines, and I try to break out these lines too. So now we are left out with this step. For this step, they have not given any value for the step from either this bottom line or from this line. So what we'll do is, it has to make a tangency line and perpendicular to this line. So to do that, what I'll try to do is, I'll try to extend this line, say line perpendicular to this line, and I'll give tan. That means to make a tangency with the circle. Okay, now you can remove the extra lines which is not required, and I'll break out this line. Sorry, I'll remove this line and extend. Okay, and try to break down even this line. Now I try to create a small circle to make my center lines look good. So I create two small lines and try to trim these lines within those circles. And I'll try to remove this. Okay, now I'll try to select everything, all the solid lines to make it as center lines. So I'll select all these lines, go to the line properties and say center lines. And even for these lines, I'll select these lines and go to the line properties and give us center lines. It's not visible, so I'll go and reduce the line type scale so that it's visible. So in order to make it aesthetically good, so I'll just offset this circle to 1 mm on either sides and try to extend this and remove these extra lines. Now this is perfect, and we are left out with this radius that we have to give, that fillet radius 1 and fillet radius 1, fillet radius 1 and fillet radius 1. So this is our drawing, and now we will start giving the dimensions. So first we'll go and give all the linear dimensions. So from this point to this point I got 6, and from this point to this point I have got as 10, and from this point to this point I've got 19. So select, right click, go to precision and give 1 decimal to that, and go linear dimension. From this point to this point it's 4, and from here to the center point it's 1, and from this point to this point it's 4, and from this point to this point it's 3.5. So right click, 1 decimal point, and now we'll go for giving angular dimensions. So align dimensions, sorry. So from this center point to this center point it is 6, and from this center point, or what I'll try to do is I'll make an edge to take the dimension. So for that I have previously said that go for lengthen dynamically and pull this 2 and make a corner by trimming it out. Take a small circle and try to trim out this extra part so that your dimension starts from here. Here it's 8, and this dimension is 5, and this dimension is, I'd say, perpendicular. So 2.5, that should be actually 1.5. And we need to give one angular dimension from this to this is 74. And now we'll give all the required radius dimensions. So radius, and this is R2, enter. This is R2, this is R1, this is R0.5. so we'll select, right click and say precision 0.5. we have got it, and say radius 5.25. so select, right click, dimension 2 decimals, and say radius 2. Again select, go for 1 decimal point precision 1.5. say radius 1, radius 1, and this is radius. So we need to give two decimal points to get 0.75, and this radius is R1. So, and this radius is R3. And now we'll go and give the diameter dimensions, and this as dia 2, and this diameter as dia 12, and this dimension as 9. So the final thing we are left out is the angular dimensions of this 30, and this is 30. So we are done with the drawing. So if you got any doubt, you can comment me, or you can email me at cadman16414@gmail.com. So thank you.